Okay, just getting set up and trying to check on another device if we are live or not. Anyone's there, please do send me a message. Yeah, it looks like I am live. I have to set up and trying to check on a message. I can see myself on another screen, so thank you all for coming. It's just before 12, so I will just give it a couple of seconds just to finish getting ready. Yeah, it looks like I am live. I have to set up and trying to check on a Okay, it's 12 o'clock on Monday, the 2nd of March. Thank you so much for joining me for this lunchtime live session for Enterprise Nation. My name is Luann Wise. I'm your host for this session. Hopefully, I'll probably have some slides for about half an hour. I will keep an eye. I've got my phone as another device right next to me to see if you've got any comments, anything like that as we go through. If not, we've got some time for Q&A at the end. So, as I said, my name is Luann Wise. This is me right here on your screens. I think there's probably a bit of a delay. I'm just checking. I'm a marketer, a chartered marketer. I'm a fellow of the CIM. I've worked agency side, I've worked client side. I've run my own business now for 9 years. As a marketing consultant and as a trainer on marketing planning, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, social selling, lots of different topics. I'm really proud to be one of the small group of She Means Business trainers and also one of the lead trainers for the Facebook Blueprint. You can find me online. One of the great things about having a unique name like Luann is I could grab all the handles I needed for social media and for web domains, etc. So you can find me on all of the platforms at Luann Wise. That's LUANWISE. So the topic for today is Instagram stories. These slides have animation on them, but I'm just going to click through because by checking on my phone, it looks like there's a slight delay between my laptop and what comes through on the live. So three key topics for today. It's about building your business on Instagram. So a little bit of a back to basics, but I always think it's useful to go back to basics and just check that we've set things up properly. Sometimes we're so keen to get started on social media that we download the app and skip through some of the setup process so that we can get started. It's probably one of the biggest mistakes I see, actually. So we'll talk back to basics about building your business on Instagram. We will talk about how Instagram really is about, building your community, building an audience. Doing business means that you need to find people who care about what you do. And it is a way that you can use this tool, this great social media platform, to showcase your business's unique personality. That's what we mean by storytelling, really. Stories are how we learnt when we were young. We were read stories before we could read ourselves. It's how we learn. We will learn and recall things if it's kind of part of a story. And stories are just a great way to start conversations. We know this from kind of the real world, that conversations start with stories. If you ask someone a question, they'll often share an experience that they've had, which means it's a really great way to build relationships as well. But when we talk about storytelling in business, sometimes we see that word as something that we know we should do, something that's a bit of a barrier, because, what does that actually mean? For me, it really means just narrating what you're doing. Sometimes on social media, online content in general, we overthink it and we think that we need to be clever. We think back to our days of being at school, being at university and having to present big topics and big presentations. But actually, the best thing that we can do online is to just narrate and tell people what we're doing and what we're working on. It's kind of salesy without being salesy. It's not yucky, but people are genuinely interested in what you're doing. They genuinely are. People are quite nosy. So if you can just tell people what you're doing and what you're up to, as long as you're allowed to share that, then that's what we want to be doing. So let's just recap on Instagram. I'm assuming most of you are already on there, but if you're not, don't worry. Hopefully, maybe you'll be encouraged to join after today. It's a global community. There's more than 1 billion people using Instagram right now. Their mission is about bringing you closer to the people and the things you love, and supporting businesses is a really huge part of that. On Instagram, you can upload photos or videos and share that with a community. So the app. Most of Instagram is via a phone. I know that some people would prefer to use it on a desktop. It depends how you like to work. There are some desktop tools available for Instagram now via Facebook Creator Studio, and also one I particularly use myself for scheduling and engaging is Planoly, Planolly. But it's mostly about the app on your phone, so make sure that you have downloaded that. 4 parts to this really: your personal profile, your feed, the Explore tab, and having a business profile. So what's really important if you're using Instagram for your business is to change your profile to a business profile. And really there is nothing different from a personal profile to a business profile. You do need to connect it via your Facebook business page, but it will give you insights. That's the big advantage, that with a business profile, you will be able to see insights about who your audience are, where they are, and how to engage with them and how your content's doing. So it really isn't anything big and scary, just to go into your settings and change it to a business profile if you're going to be using Instagram for business. The Explore tab I mentioned, that is the tab to go to when you want to find people to follow, see what's going on in your world. It helps you to find trends as they emerge in real time, see events, conversations that are happening near you. You can use it to search for content, places, people that might be of interest. Your feed is great, but if you want to find new people to follow, to engage with, find out what other people are doing, what they're working on, etc., then it's that Explore tab that will help you. And that's just using the magnifying glass in the bottom left-hand corner. But we are going to concentrate today on this business profile. I have to remember that you're seeing it slightly delayed to I am, so I'm just going to upload all the points from the slide for you so it catches up. So why use Instagram? I'll catch up in a second from my screen. Here we go. Why use Instagram? Well, like I said, the mission is about bringing people closer to the things that they love. When you're running a small business, even as a marketer, I'm still running a business. It's just one of your responsibilities to be telling people what you're doing, trying to acquire new customers, keep existing ones, get referrals, find peers to connect with that can help you along as well. So you do need to be marketing your business. And Instagram is a really great tool for small businesses. All it takes is a mobile phone, bit of creativity. For me, it's a different way of thinking. It's about thinking, oh, this will be good for the gram. Can I post this? Or I'm out at an event today, I must take a picture, I must take a video to post. It's about making it a habit to come into your world so that you don't really see it as a big chore. Businesses of all shapes, sizes can find new and existing customers and build a community from those 1 billion people that are on the platform. And I guess the challenge that people have, particularly if you're a service business like myself, is that it's very visual. For photographers, creatives, maybe you find it slightly easier. You've got products to share, you've got your images to share of your photography, but it can work equally as well for service businesses. It's just thinking about what your story is. What is it that you need to share? Whether that's photos, and or videos. You have a unique story, which is about you, and why you set up your business and what problems and challenges you're trying to solve. And when you tell those stories, when you just tell people, or show and tell really, what you're working on, people connect with that and they start to care about what you do. It helps you communicate really easily with customers and other businesses. They want to hear from you. Your business is Instagrammable. You know, if you're a mechanic fixing a car, if you're a creator, if you're a cleaner that's getting out stains, you know, whatever you're doing in your lives, if there's photos and videos to be taken, then you can share them on Instagram. Honestly, when you start looking around, there's a whole set of new worlds out there that you can get involved with. Communicating with your customers and other businesses, that's really important. You can find people to collaborate with. You could be offering customer service, answering questions, creating partnerships. When people see your profile, they may get in touch and ask questions. Some stats. We like stats in presentations. These are stats from Instagram's own internal data. Just checking, you'll see these in a second. Some real delay from my laptop through to the live. Here we go. So these stats from Instagram's internal data are that 83% of people discover new products and services on Instagram. It's a great discovery tool. It's a very different search intent to Google. When you Google something, you tend to know what you're looking for. When you're on social media, things start to appear in your feed because you're telling Facebook and Instagram what you're interested in, so they're helping you discover new products and services that might be relevant to you. It's also a place, you know, if you do know what you want or you do know your pain points and challenges, we're all using it to search and research products or services. We may know we want a product but don't know exactly what or who supplies it or where you can get it from or if it's in stock or the prices. So it's a huge research tool. And 80% of users use Instagram to decide whether to buy or not. And just think, that could be down to reviews, it could be down to customer service, could be down to images of people using the products, not just a straightforward kind of library shop, window shop, but actually showing the products in use can help people decide whether to buy what you're offering. Action shots, people love that. They love to see products, what they could look like in their home. That is why it's so aspirational and inspirational as well. So finding people who care about what you do. This is the power of Instagram. It's the next slide that will come through. There you go. It's time to start building your brand on Instagram so that you can connect with the people that will care about what you do. Brand, again, a bit like storytelling, feels a bit intimidating. Personal branding there's two definitions for me. It's about what people say about you when you're not in the room, and it's about being consistent. It's about what you're known for. If you've seen any of my presentations or met me before, you'll know that I'm loving this slide deck from Instagram because it's pink, but my own content, my own brand, down to my nails and my hair color, you know, everything I'm doing is pink so that I have a visual identity, but also a style of how I deliver what I deliver as well. And that's what we're trying to align people with, really, letting them get to know us and feel comfortable and to trust, know, like, and trust. So the first place to start, really, if you're thinking about using Instagram, if you're not already or up in your game on Instagram, is to be thinking about, before you even start, before you pick up your phone and go out to take photos and videos, is to be thinking about your business's personality. Now, you do have one. We all have one. We probably haven't sat down and thought about it, but we do have one. And we need to think. There's some questions around this that may prompt you when you have a look back later on. What is it you want people to think or feel when they see your Instagram posts and stories? We want them to think that they really want it and they admire it and they want it in their world, or they want to be associated with you as an individual. We want them to feel positive and upbeat. We need to think about how you would describe the personality of your business. When you sit and think about this, and I did as I was prepping these slides this morning, your business has a personality. Your business may just be you, so it could be a reflection of yourself. But it could be, it's your tone of voice, as a business, how formal are you? How informal are you? Are you controversial? Are you straight talking? Are you really serious? Or are you all about having fun? Lots of these kind of themes will come into play as you start to create your content on social media. And it's not all about mission, vision, and values. It really is just, what do I want people to think about me? How do I want to come across? And being consistent with that. So have a think afterwards. It's lunchtime, grab a cup of coffee or a bite to eat after this session, and just think for a few minutes about your business personality. And if it was a person, how would you describe them? So let's go back to these basics of Instagram and setting up your account. And I said earlier, it's about setting up a business account. Just waiting for the slides on my screen to catch up with the live. It will come through. When you're creating your business account, you are sharing information with your followers and potential customers, your address, your contact info. And just to clarify, as I said earlier, there really is no difference between this personal account or business account. The algorithm, we talk about those, I tend to not talk about them too much, but it doesn't differentiate between personal and business profiles. So it's not going to prioritize, it's just the fact that you will get these insights and be able to connect it to your Facebook business page. We want people to see photos and videos that they care about, regardless of whether it's from friends or businesses. So you start by creating a personal account and then switch it to a business account. This is how you do it. You add an account. Connect it to Facebook, enter your business's information. And just while, again, the slides are catching up, what's really important is you think about what it is that you're entering when you set up your profile. So this is the same for all social media accounts. Actually, people set it up really quickly, but just think about the fact that you want to have a great photo on there as your profile photo, whether that's your own photo or whether it's a business logo, like this example here. It appears quite small, especially when we're using a phone. So we need to make sure that it's really quite clear. We do need to set up a memorable handle for our business. This one shown on the screen is Jasper's Market. Mine is at Luann Wise. It's important that it's a handle that you can say quite easily, that people can remember and that they can recall. And hopefully you will be able to get something that's suitable for your business name. I know when setting up a new business now, it's as much about the name that's available at Companies House as domain names, but also your social media handles as well. Just going to load the next slides while I'm still talking because I'm covering some of these. You have a bio section on your Instagram account, the same as you do every other social media account. On Instagram, I think it's 160 characters. So it's important to get those 160 characters to explain your business so that people know what to expect. Whether it's a customer service account, what type of content you'll be sharing. For example, on my own personal account, my bio, I think if I recall, kind of says behind the scenes of life as a marketer, trainer, speaker, and coffee addict, because I know that that's the kind of content that I'll be sharing on my Instagram feed. You can and you should include a link to a website on your Instagram profile as part of the setup. And this is probably one of the challenges of Instagram, is that you can only have one link in the setup and that you can't include links when you post in your feed. So my recommendation is that you may decide to create a landing page on your website. That is the link that you put on your Instagram profile, or you use a third-party tool such as Linktree, that's linktr.ee, that will allow you to create a landing page to link to multiple links on your website or other profiles, etc., so that you don't get confused by needing to change the link in your bio, and it allows people to find lots of content across your website if they need to. So the next stage after setup, it's going to come through in a second, is about finding, following, and saving posts. So using Instagram to find your friends, topics, brands that you like. You can just tap on that magnifying glass icon and enter a search in the search bar at the top of the screen. You can search for people, places, tags, keywords, whatever you consider. It's just worth thinking about what it is you want to search for before you have this search screen. The search results are based on a variety of factors, including the people you follow, who you're connected to, and what other content you've already liked on Instagram. You should be following accounts of the brands and the things that matter to you. In businesses, other people in your industry, other people who do what you do, people who are influencers, and just businesses that you like the look and feel of. It's always useful to just be active on this platform and to watch and see what other people do to see what you like yourself. You can save posts. See the hand pointing in the bottom right hand corner. You can save posts that you like or you want to come back to at another time. Just tap that. It's only visible to you from a private section of your account. You can save things to collections as well, which could be really useful. So that's how you're going to use Instagram as a user. But let's think about how you can get discovered by your community. Your community, there's lots of kind of phrases around this now. I think it's about like kind of finding your tribe, the people that are going to support you. Could be your customers, it could be your peers, but it is all about community. So how do you start finding people who are going to care about what it is that you do? You can get your customers, friends and family members to follow you on Instagram. Just tell them. You've got to tell people to follow you and to find you. Put it in your email signature. They can share your posts with people that might be interested. Start posting consistently on Instagram using hashtags. I'm going to come on to that. And just tag other people into your posts as well, whether that's people, places, businesses, etc. If you're at a hotel, tag the hotel in. That will help people find you. People love being tagged in because then they can respond and share to it as well. I know this will be a question that comes up. There's a bit of a delay in time, so I'm just conscious of the slide deck I've got to get through. But to give you an idea, post regularly, be consistent, and the top tip really is about 3 to 5 times a week would be great on your feed, and 3 to 5 times a week on your stories. I'm not going to talk too much detail about stories today because there will be other Facebook Lives on that topic, but I will cover them very briefly shortly, just in case you're not aware. The biggest, most important thing is, as well as considering your business's personality, is because storytelling needs to be remembered. And I said for me that brand was about being consistent. Knowing the characteristics of your business and your personality and what you want to get across, then think about how your feed and your content on Instagram can be consistent as well with look and feel. And here's 3 examples that I really like. Will come up on the screen in a second. I mean, these will come through, and these have just been planned, some more than others. Martha Brooke London, if you've seen her, if you like stationery and you like pink, then I'd really encourage you to have a look at her feed. She has a consistent feel to her account in terms of how the images are taken. You can see here a lot of flat lays where they're kind of straight down. They're all from a similar angle. There's a theme of pink running through here. Products appear, teasing about products that coming up, but also Martha, the founder's story as well. So there's images of her and her family and the team, and it's just constantly telling us what she's doing and what she's working on. Dishmatic, I said earlier about cleaning products. Cleaning and influence is a huge field on Instagram. Dishmatic is a client that I'm working with, and we have developed their feed to be a mixture of images of the product in use, user-generated content, and also text as well in a grid that can share top tips. It can drive traffic to blogs, talk about competitions, etc. So we've developed a very consistent look and feel to that feed. And the silver spot, if anyone is in Gloucestershire, my International Women's Day meetup next Monday morning, Emma, who's the owner of the Silver Spot Ceramics, will be coming along to talk to us about how she uses Instagram to build her business, and she makes these wonderful mugs and sells them, and has built her audience to over 10,000 followers on Instagram in the last year organically. So I'm really excited about meeting up with her again and sharing that story. And she's really just, she's taking pictures as she's making the mugs, glazing the mugs, selling the mugs, having great days, bad days, how the colour's coming out. She's just constantly storytelling. But if you think about it, it's one product. And this is a fear that people sometimes have of, I've got one product or one idea, how do I keep posting content? Look at any of these accounts, look around, and you'll see lots of ideas. And I think the biggest key to success as well, will come through in a second, is it's about being authentic. It's about thinking about your audience and what is it? Is that crossover between what your audience is interested in and your business's story. So if you think about it as two circles, it's the bit in the middle that's relevant to both of you that needs to be the story that you're telling online. Be honest, give feedback. Some feeds coming through, comments now regarding those posts. Yeah, they look great, and it's really surprising what you can do with a bit of planning. Post things that do represent your business. Be honest, be consistent, show the behind the scenes. My own account, I'm often pictures of me talking behind the scenes, traveling, prepping, pictures of my desk, etc. And it should all be fun. It shouldn't be too complicated or hard work. And this is why on the feed is great. Those screenshots I showed you were from the feed. But of course, with Instagram, you also have stories, which are posted content that stays around for 24 hours. It's much more raw content. It tends to be in the moment, though of course you can create graphics and post that as stories as well. But they're much more real time. They appear across the top of your feed when you log in. So for me and many other users, it's stories that kind of grabs attention. I will actually always look at my stories first before I scroll down. Some questions coming through, but I'll come back to those because just conscious of time and how they might work. Instagram stories, as I said, there's another whole slide deck on Instagram stories, but they're great fun. I would encourage you to just go and have a look at them on your phone and see what they're like. You'll see the circles along the top, but you can add stickers on there, filters, mention people, you can run polls. They really are quite nice and interactive. But for your business, they can be great for time-sensitive content. If you are running a sale, if you're at an event and you want people to come along and see you on your stand, or a networking event and you want to show people that you're there, that's kind of really nice in the moment content that can help you drive your business goals. Sales and promos, launches, exclusives, tutorials, behind the scenes. I know you're seeing these on a slight delay, so I'll just wait a second for it to catch up. And answer the question from Tanya. What if you don't have a product? You offer a language service, so not sure what pics you can upload. Well, I offer a service. I do have some products. I have books, but it's about you and doing business with you. So very much show behind the scenes, show your desk at work. If you're at events, show yourself an event, show pictures of your notes. I've done posts of a cup of coffee and a blank notebook in a coffee shop saying it's business planning time. I'm sure there are some things of yourself Some people, we're not always comfortable having our own pictures on there, but just think about behind the scenes. And if someone said, what have you worked on today? How would you answer that in a picture? How would you use stories in the moment to avoid messing up your grid? Stories do not go on your grid. So, you know, that is why they're so great, because you can be in the moment. If your grid is very planned, like something like Dishmatic, it won't mess it up. Stories appear along the top of your profile, and you can also save them as highlights to your profile. That's where you will go onto someone's profile and see a series of circles, and people, if they wanted to, could save their stories so they last longer than 24 hours as a highlight, but they do not go onto your grid. There are ways of kind of interacting your grid with your stories. A lot of people may post on the grid, for example, and then use the airplane arrow to create a story and say new post on grid, so they can be used to interact with each other quite nicely as well. It's really important to plan your posts. Hopefully that theme is coming together. Really conscious that there's a delay on these slides, so I will talk through them, because I know that we don't always multitask of listening and reading as well. But plan your posts. Think about who you want to see them, who you're talking to, what do you want them to tell, what do you want to tell them, what do you want them to take away, what do you want them to think, feel and do when they see that post. When are you going to post and how? That's the format of whether it's photos or videos. So plan them. Craft your posts as well. What's coming through on your screens in a second, just in case you're not aware, is a diagram of a post. For those that are new to Instagram, what does it look like when you see a post? You will always see someone's profile image, and this is where it appears so small, so it needs to be clear. And you'll see the poster's name, which is their username. You will then see the photo or the video in the feed, and you will see a caption. Now, if you're very visual in business, lots of photos, lots of images, it'll probably be the captions that you find hardest. For those of us that perhaps don't have such a visual business, we may be more comfortable with words, and matching up captions to images is sometimes the challenge as well. But some advice I was given in some coaching and training was really just to think about the fact that there is a person behind your screen and tell them a story, as if you're explaining over coffee. That's kind of how I'm feeling right now, that there's a person the other side of my screen and we're just having a chat over coffee, and you're nodding and smiling, and I'm telling you a story. And that's what I want to do in my caption to go along with my photo or my video. I'm going to tell you a story. Why am I posting it? Where am I today? What am I doing? What does it say? Depending on your business personality, your characteristics, you may use some emojis in there if you like. If you're showing products, you may list them, you may point to them. If you have Instagram shopping, again, a whole nother training course, you could tag them. A really good way to get people to engage with you on Instagram or any social media post actually is to ask people for questions or suggestions. You know, what do you think? Because if you see posts like this, think about yourself as a user. You often can't help yourself but to answer. Do tag people if it's relevant, and the big one on Instagram is hashtags. Hashtags are how you get your content found on Instagram. We could, if I run a training session, we could talk about this for a good hour. Hashtags and what to use, how to find them. The important thing is that you do use them in your posts. You can use up to 30 against any video or photo in your feed. And just think about being specific, because really broad, big hashtags like food will have lots of photos that appear in the feed if someone's searching for them. If you can narrow things down, if you're a niche product, a niche service, or add some hashtags around locations or venues, you will get found by people who are looking exactly for what you're doing and where you are. There's no exact science to this. There's lots of reports and research done. As I said, I could talk about this topic for hours, my kind of top tip here is to start off by seeing what your competitors use as hashtags on their post. They may have already done some research. If you've got the same target audience, then follow their lead and perhaps use some of those hashtags. Personally, I also use an app on my phone that is called Tag-O-Matic, and that helps me to find hashtags relevant to my image. I've almost finished, you'll be pleased to know, as it is lunchtime. I said at the beginning of the session, the benefit of Instagram for business and switching your profile to a business account is that you get some insights. You would go to insights on your app. You would log in down the bottom right-hand corner, click on your profile, go up to the top, it's coming through, and you will see insights. You will be able to see who your audience are, male and female, age breakdown. You will be able to see insights around the times of day that they are online. You will be able to see what days of the week. So if you have any questions around when is the best time to post, your answers are always in your own data and they are in your insights. So have a look at those and you may spot some trends around the days of the week that people are online and the times of day as well. So towards the end of this session, thank you for sticking with me. Those of you that have joined and for those of you that are watching the replay afterwards, I hope that there are 4 key takeaways for you from today's session, that it is really about using Instagram, oh, it's catching up, to find people interested in your business, for people that you can have conversations with and talk to and build relationships with. It is your place to share your business's unique personality. We're all offering similar things, but we're also unique at the same time with photos and videos. I've shown you some tips for writing the perfect caption. Think about your audience and write for them. I know going back, Emma will be sharing from the Silver Spot next week how she just talks to her friends about what she's doing in the studio, and that really works. If you look at her captions and her feed, she's your friend, and that's how she's treating you as well. So write the captions, don't overthink it, just talk as if we're talking back at each other right now, and do include hashtags because that's how more people will find you. And then the answers to any questions you've got will be in your own data, and by having a business Instagram account, you will find insights. Thank you again for listening. If you've got any questions, I've got an eye on my phone with questions coming through, but some resources here if you're watching again or you're grabbing this. The help section of Instagram is really useful if you have questions. I would always recommend going to the help sections of any of the social media platforms. There is a business Instagram page with a toolkit of information that you can work through and inspiration. For more learning, it's the learning that I've done and that I train on is Facebook's Blueprint courses. They are free online courses if you go to facebook.com/blueprint. And of course, today's session has been hosted by Enterprise Nation, who partner with Facebook on the She Means Business campaign. Enterprise Nation has loads of information on their website, blogs, content, webinars, live, access to people. So please do tap into them. And last but not least, my website as well, luannwise.co.uk. More resources and other events that I'm hosting on there, including the International Women's Day event on Monday, March the 9th at Queen's Hotel in Cheltenham. So I'm just going to check the questions, but thank you for joining. I don't use stories for my travel pages. I try and keep the grid on brand, but may try and use stories more. Yeah, absolutely. Try stories. Really quick and easy to do. And actually, I love stories because I can always see who's looked at my stories. You don't always know who's looked at the post on your grid, but you do get to see who's looking at your stories. So I'd really recommend giving them a go. If you do, please do tag in at @e_nation or myself at @luannwise, and we can share them for you. It'd be great to see what you're doing. Thank you again. My name is Luann Wise. Really enjoyed hosting this session for you. If you have any questions afterwards, because you haven't managed to type it into the box or you're watching later, then please just post in the comments or drop us a message. Thank you.